Hey you guys, I've got a new toy. Check this out. I've got a brand new, well, almost brand new. One small crash, very durable. Autel Robotics X-Star Premium Drone. This thing is so much fun to fly. I'm really excited to tell you guys about this. Actually, I have so much to say about this Autel Robotics drone that I have to divide my review into two different videos. In this video, I'm just gonna focus on giving you guys an overview of some of the features, and I'm gonna tell you why I bought this drone instead of one of the many others that are out there at this price point. And then in the second video, I'm going to bring you guys up to one of my favorite flying spots so we can test it out. All right, so if you're not subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video and any other videos you might be interested in, all right? Now, let me bring you a little bit closer and tell you a little bit more about this thing. All right, you guys, so when I went drone shopping, I knew I wanted an advanced prosumer quality GPS drone, and what I mean by that is I don't want a toy. I don't want a toy drone, but at the same time, I don't have the budget for a professional drone. So I wanted something that was reliable, had a really good quality camera, and that wouldn't break the bank. And basically, that narrowed it down to DJI, Yuneec, 3DR, and Autel. Now, I found some real bargains, but in the end, I decided that I didn't want a real bargain drone at the cost of reliability. I mean, at the end of the day, what's important for me when I'm, flying above my kids and above, my neighbors' houses and everything like that, what's important to me is reliability. These are just my opinions. You might agree, you might not agree. If you have some opinions over which brand is better, feel free to leave it in the comments. But this is why I bought the Autel Robotics X-Star Premium. All right, the first reason to buy this drone, it's orange. I love the orange color. It makes it really easy to see in the sky, and best of all, it kind of screams out, I didn't buy a DJI like everybody else did, so I really like the color. The second reason is customer satisfaction, and what I mean by that is I did a ton of research before I bought this, and I could hardly find a negative review on this thing. I mean, of course, there's a few shortcomings that I'll talk to you guys about, but Autel owners are generally really happy with their products. Now, I should mention, Autel did not give me an incentive. They did not send me like a free drone or anything like that to do this review. And if you follow my channel, you know that when I do a review of a product, if I don't like it, I'll tell you. Another reason to go with this option is customer service. Now, when I was doing my research, I emailed Autel with some pre-purchase questions I had, and they got right back to me. And for me, it was really nice to know that I can go to their website and you can chat with them, you can call them up or send them an email, and you get a real person gets back to you, and they're really good about that. From what I can tell from reading the forums, a lot of the other companies that are out there, I mean, they might have good products, but if you have a problem or if you don't know how to set something up, you have a crash or something, you're pretty much on your own when it comes to tech support. So customer service really is one of those things that sets Autel apart from some of the others. Another one of the real strong points of this drone is the camera. It shoots 4K video at 30 frames per second, or 2.7K at 60 frames per second, or 1080p at 120 frames per second. It has a Sony sensor, and from what I can tell, I'm not a professional photographer, but from my own experience and from what I can tell from the sample images, the camera in this drone is as good as or better than any of the Phantom 3 or even the Phantom 4 until you get to the Phantom 4 Professional or the Inspire series. And those cost a lot more, so you're really upping the price quite a bit. But in this price range, the camera on this drone is about as good as it gets. Now, one of my favorite features of this drone is the removable gimbal. There's a button on the side that releases it, and it just pops right off like that. That's a huge advantage for me for two reasons. First of all, if you have a crash, and it does happen once in a while, it's hard to avoid, we all have crashes, right? If you do crash, the component that's most likely to be damaged, the most vulnerable part of a drone, is the gimbal. And so if you do break the gimbal, you can buy another one from Autel. You don't have to replace the whole drone. I mean, if you have a DJI and you break the gimbal, you pretty much have to buy a whole new drone. So that's the first advantage. The second advantage of that for me is that it's upgradable. Autel has already announced that they're going to have a camera with a full 1-inch sensor and an infrared camera, I believe. So there are some upgrade opportunities aside from the fact that it's replaceable if you break it. So the modular gimbal is a huge advantage for me. Autel includes some very nice extras with the X-Star Premium that are really worth mentioning. I mean, first of all, you get 2 full sets of props, or a total of 8 props, but that's pretty much par for the course. What I'm really referring to are things like this lanyard. You get a nice lanyard, which is really useful for holding your remote, especially if you're using a tablet. It gets really heavy. They include a 64GB card, which is really nice to have. It actually comes inserted into the drone. I have mine stowed away there right in the foam rubber so I don't forget when I head out to my flying spot. But the real extra you get with the X-Star Premium that's worth mentioning is this case. It's a very nice quality case. You can see it has places for 6 batteries in total. Remember, the drone only comes with 1 battery. I purchased these separately. It's got some nice squishy foam. It just protects it really well, and it's hard plastic on the outside, and for me it works really great because I have small children and it's pretty much kid-proof. And I've also taken it on an airplane. I can confirm that this will work as a carry-on bag on the airplane, so it makes for a perfect traveling case. Another advantage of the X-Star Premium for me was the remote. It's super high quality and heavy, and it just feels very well built. It has a 6,000 milliamp battery, which Autel says is good for 7 to 9 flights. My experience is it's good for at least that many, but of course you don't want to push it. You want to keep it charged. The charger Autel gives you will charge the lipo flight battery and the remote at the same time, because it does take about 4 hours to fully charge the remote battery. One of the main features of this remote is the LCD screen. That's a huge advantage for me because I find myself looking up at critical flight data all the time while I'm flying. Another feature I really like is the USB connection to your device. I have mine wired up with a lightning cable and a mini USB cable because I have both Android and Apple. And I really prefer a USB connection over a Wi-Fi connection because it's just one less thing you have to worry about and it feels more reliable. The shortcut buttons are also very nice to have. Autel has made flying a drone as easy as it can be. You have a button to start the rotors, take off and land, the power button of course, go home, and pause aircraft. They've really made flying, like I said, as easy as it can be. Autel gives you 1 lipo flight battery with the drone. I highly recommend picking up some extras because you'll want them when you're out at your flight spot. Now these are 14.8 volt or 4S 4900 milliamp lipo batteries. Autel says they're good for 25 minutes of flight time. I never get 25 minutes, but I never try to either. I set my low battery warning at 30%. It comes set at 25%, and the reason for that is I like to err on the side of caution, but also I like to take very good care of my lipo batteries. I mean, they cost money and it's not good for lipos to run them down all the way. So battery life for me is very good, but I'm coming from the perspective of a pretty serious RC hobbyist. I mean, I use lipo batteries in my radio control race cars and my radio control helicopters, and for me 20 minutes of flight time is pretty good. Now, if you're new to lipo batteries, you might be thinking, well, I wish these things were cheaper and I wish they lasted longer. And I can understand that, but this is pretty much par for the course for high quality lipo batteries. Now, another feature that's really nice to point out is that these are smart batteries. And what that means is basically they'll balance charge themselves when they're plugged in, and that means all 4 of those cells will keep themselves at the same voltage, and they will also discharge themselves when you don't use them. There's a parameter that you can set in the app. I believe it comes set to 6 days, but I change it to 2 or 3 days, where if you don't fly after fully charging your batteries for that many days, they will discharge themselves. Now, that's pretty nice because, you know, coming from normal dumb lipos, that saves a ton of time, and it really helps extend the life of your lipos, and it makes it really easy to take care of your lipos properly. Now, I have had weak video signals, magnetic interference, and I've even lost the RC signal once or twice flying this drone. But in each case, the fail-safes have kicked in and it's either regained the signal immediately or the drone has flown home. So it seems very, very reliable to me. I've joined the Autel Robotics owners Facebook group, and if you're doing some research on this, I recommend you head over there and talk to some real Autel Robotics owners, because I have never heard of a flyaway with this drone. I've heard of people having the same issues that I've had, but I've never heard of a flyaway. That's not to say it's never happened, I've just never heard of it. So the reliability is definitely there. Another thing that I want to mention is durability. Now I don't know if you guys can see this or if you can notice, I've got the case opened up a little bit there. I did have a crash. It was total user error. I got too close to a tree, I got disoriented, and I flew into a tree. It's easier to do than you think. So do be careful when you're a new pilot getting used to the controls and everything. But anyway, I mention that because the durability is there also. I mean, I'm really happy with the build quality. It seems really solid. It'll definitely survive some minor crashes, and the reliability and the durability are definitely there. Now the final reason why I bought this drone over one of its competitors is price. Now this is not the cheapest drone out there. If you look around, you can find cheaper things. But for me, when I took into account the reliability, the durability, the quality of the camera, the customer support, and just the overall package, everything you get with the X-Star Premium, it ended up being a real bargain. So I've been very happy with it. Now that's it for the first part of my review. For the second part of my review, I'm going to take you guys with me up to my favorite flying spot on a mountaintop up here in the Ecuadorian Andes. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, you should definitely subscribe because you don't want to miss out on that. Alright you guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it, and please hit that thumbs up button before you go.